What's up, world? We back at it again, man. Fresh out of the gym, mind, body, and soul experiment. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to the channel. Continue to like, comment, share, do all of those good things. If it's your first time here, we welcome you. We appreciate you. We thank you. If you return to the channel, you know what it is. You know what time it is. Elevation, motivation leads to domination. We want you to dominate. We want to dominate. Everybody should be out here dominating. Nobody should be average. Nobody should be doing things at 1x speed. Everybody should be operating at 10x speed. And if I can assist in that, if I can assist, and trust me, I'm on the journey myself. And if I can assist you in that, we can take this ride together. So come on in. As always, kick your feet up and let's get loose. So today's topic came from, I was in the gym. As many of you know, and some of you may not know, I recently returned to the gym. I want to say it was about 11 days ago. So I've been going strong for 11 days. And I was working out today, and I got to the end of the workout, and I looked at my body and I said, man, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. And it brought this subject matter to mind, and that's nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens overnight. Everything is a process. Remember what we always say, success. Success is just repeating the same acts over and over and over for a consistent period of time. That's when you get success. But a lot of us are caught now in this microwave era of the millennials that want everything so fast because they came up in the era of the cell phone, the smartphone, the iPhone, the tablets, and all of these other things that we just didn't have growing up when I was a youngster, right? We didn't have cell phones. Everything wasn't readily available at our palms, at our fingertips, and now it is. And a large majority of us in Generation X and older generations have conformed to the way that things are now. But we must not forget that nothing happens overnight. You see, I could have, and with that realization, I could have looked at myself and said, man, this ain't working. Let me go ahead and get on up out of here and stop wasting my time. Ain't nothing happening. But I know that it didn't take me 11 days to get into this state where I am now. It is not going to take me 11 days to get out. It's going to take some time. But you keep pressing. You keep pressing. You press until something happens, until you see results. Get your mind geared for the long haul. Get your mind geared for the 3 to 5 years instead of the 6 months to a year plan. A lot of y'all out there on a 6 to a month year plan, and then when it fails, guess what? Oh man, that ain't work, man. What happened? You still doing the same thing? Nah, man, that wasn't working. You know what I mean? And you didn't even give it a chance. You didn't even let the process play out. You gave up. But nothing happens overnight. Everything takes time. Anything that you're going to have in your life that you call successful is going to take time to build. It's not microwave. You don't put it in the microwave and 30 seconds later, you got what you want. No, it's a process. And it's repeating the same actions over and over and over again. And that's something a lot of us drop the ball on as well. You don't fall in love with the mundane. Oh, this is boring. This is boring, but that boring is helping you. That boring is helping you develop good habits. Because if it's inside of you, it's nothing to do it. If you're prepared, then you ain't gotta get prepared. Right? If it's already if you're practicing that thing every day, and by the time you hit that hardwood, everything that you've practiced is gonna come out in your game. Ask Michael Jordan. Ask Kobe Bryant. They were overly excessive with doing the same things over and over and over again, and you see the results. You see what they got. That didn't happen overnight. That didn't happen overnight. That happened with long, hard, tedious. I don't feel like it. I got a cold. I got so many excuses why I can't do it. That happened over that stretch. When others said, I don't feel like it, they said, I'm going to press through. Others said, I got a cold. They said, I'm not going to let that stop me. Others said, man, I'm tired right now. They said, no, I'm going to push through that. I'm going to push through the pain. I got something wrong with my knee. I'm going to push through that. Don't happen overnight. You don't develop that type of mindset overnight. You got to plug this into wherever you are in your walk of life and understand that nothing happens overnight. Bad habits need to be replaced with other habits. Okay? And that takes time. If you've been doing something in your life repeatedly over and over and over and over again, it's become a part of you. That bad thing has become a part of you. And it's not going to be easy to get rid of it. Because first, you have to recognize that you have a bad habit. First of all, you got to recognize that. That's a big stickler for a lot of people. They don't even recognize that this is a bad habit, and this habit is hurting me. This behavior is hurting me. It's hindering me from going to where it is that I need to go. So once you recognize that, now you got to move to the next stage, and you got to replace that bad habit with a good habit. And that's going to take time. It's going to take time. You don't plant a seed and then reap the harvest in the same season as you planted the seed. I'm going to say that again. You don't reap the harvest in the same season that you plant the seed. Because there's work that's required of you in the interim before that seed becomes a seed. That seed becomes a tree, and then it bears fruit. There's work you got to do. Hard work, repetitious work, over and over and over again until it becomes a part of you, and that old habit no longer exists. That old person is now going away. Nothing happens overnight. See, mainstream media puts all of this stuff out of here. You know, you hear all these young people, I got to get it. I got to get the bag. I got to touch it, man. I got to go get it by all means necessary. I just got to get it, man. I'm seeing all of this, and they dropping all of this stuff inside of you, inside of your soul, and you ingesting it all in, and you think you can compare your chapter 45 and 46 to someone else's chapter 1 and 2. Well, you think you can compare, that's reverse. Let me go back and say that again, the right way that it needs to be said. You can't compare your chapter 1 and 2 to somebody else's chapter 45 and 46. You want me to tell you why? Because you don't know what that person had to go through to get to that. All you see is the polished and finished product, and you think, oh, well, it must not have been hard. You don't know what that person went through. You don't know all the adjustments and everything that they had to make to get there. You don't know the bad habits that they had to break. You don't know where they come from. All you see is the finished product. And oh, I want to be like that. And I'm gonna caution you guys right there to not compare your life with somebody else's life. Oh, I want to be like that. Or I want that. I want that. I want my marriage to be just like that. Or I want, I want my life to be just like, that's not your life. That ain't your life. Why would you want what's not meant for you? You want to emulate somebody else's life? That's their life. Build your own. Stop being so lazy and trying to take the easy way out and don't want to go through the fine tuning in order to become a brightly polished diamond. You don't want to go through that process because you want everything easy. But once again, nothing happens overnight. You're looking at somebody's life. Oh man, they got a beautiful home. They got a couple of nice cars. Man, I wish I had that. Well, you could. You could if you first of all went deep inside and went inside the vault, because chances are your problem is that you don't even recognize that you outputting a lot of bad habits. You don't even recognize that you outputting and you outputting at a low frequency. You don't even understand that. So you want the results of somebody that operates at high frequency, puts in a ton of work, does the things that they're supposed to do, practices those things that highly successful people do. You want those results operating at the frequency that you do? Chances are that's low. Because if you're looking at somebody else's life and you're saying, I want a life like that, you're at low frequency. I guarantee you that. You at low frequency, you've never gotten a win, you've never been successful at anything. Chances are I'm about 90% right that that's what's going on, because you wouldn't have time to be looking at somebody else's life and saying, I want that, if you was on yours. If you was chasing yours and you was getting down like you supposed to be getting down, you don't have time to be looking at what somebody else is doing, because I'm too busy getting mine. I'm too busy making my adjustments. I don't have time to look at what you're doing. I'm saying all of this, guys, because I've been there. I've been there and I've done that. I've been there and I've done that. But now I've made the adjustments and we can walk this walk together. You don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. You don't have to. I'm notorious for starting off, writing a goal, getting everything down, getting everything started, starting off on a journey, and then 2 or 3 months down the road, I quit. You know why? Because 1, my dreams wasn't big enough. And number 2, things don't happen overnight. You can't get discouraged when you hit the first bump. You can't get discouraged when one day you might miss going through your notes and writing things. You might miss that one day. That's not no cause to give up. The most successful people pick it right back up and start it off just like it never stopped. That was my vice. That was mine. And it might be some of yours listening under the sound of my voice. Nothing happens overnight. You got to commit to that thing. You have to commit to it, especially if it's been programmed and burned into your nature so deep. It's going to take some adjustment. It's going to take some will. It's going to take some courage. It's going to take a better version of you to get past that habit. So here's what I want you. Here's some tips that I just want to give you that have worked for me, okay? In turning bad habits into good ones, all right? Number 1, I've already mostly said all of this, but number 1, you got to recognize it. You got to recognize that you have a vice, you got issues, you got problems that are going on, and they're non-productive. They don't serve you in any positive fashion. You got to recognize that. Once you recognize that, now you can begin to replace that bad habit with something good. You got to go through. What are the habits? Okay, now I recognize it. This is a bad habit. I need to cut this out. What can I put in its place to replace that? Only you can determine that, but you got to put something in its place to wipe the bad habit out. That's just like I just said, when you're so busy on the path of worrying about where it is that you're going, you don't have time to be looking around and saying, man, this person got this person got that. You on your mission. You're on your mission. So you don't have time, right? So that's the same thing. When you're concentrating more on the good habit, then the bad habit just fades away. The bad habit just fades away. And some of us have 1, 2, 5, 6, 10 10 different bad habits that we got to work on. So you got to get started right away. You got to get started right away. You don't have time to be sitting around wasting. You don't have time to be watching TV. You don't have time to be watching Love and Hip Hop. You don't have time for none of that. You see, you want to do all of that type of stuff. And then, oh, well, then here come the excuses. Oh, it didn't happen. It didn't happen overnight. Yeah, you didn't form that habit of watching Love and Hip Hop overnight. That happened over a time period, and you consistently did that for an amount of time, and that's why you got to religiously watch it. You see how that goes? It works good and bad. You form that bad habit in the same way you can form good habits. Consistently doing something over and over and over again till it becomes a part of you. But we got to get rid of the negative, because the negative don't take us nowhere. The negative don't elevate us. The negative keeps us right here at average. You can't, and then you feel stuck. You can't do anything. And realize that turning that bad habit into that good habit is going to take lots and lots of your time. It's going to take lots and lots of your effort. I believe that this is going to get a lot of you unstuck. A lot of you out of the rut that you're in. I believe this is going to help, because it helped me. It helped me. And I'm starting off on this journey. You know, I'm not an expert by no means. I haven't, some of these things I'm still going through myself. But I've reached a turning point. I've reached that fork in the road that says, well, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Do I want to live with this for the rest of my life? Or do I want to make a change? It's simple. That's why it's two forks in a road. You can go this way or you can go that way. I've chosen to say, I'm going for the path that my purpose aligns up with my heart, my mind, and my soul. All of that stuff is in alignment, and it's not about the money. It's about helping others to get what they want, and I'll get what I want by default. My purpose in life has changed. I ain't chasing the bag. The bag will come. The bag will come. It's about the connection now. It's about making the connection and making that be felt all across this nation. The connection is more important than chasing the bag. The connection, and that the transparency from another human being that's walking this earth to say, hey man, I had that problem too. Did that resonate with you? Well, here's how I got over. That's my purpose. So I want you to remember this, guys. Nothing happens overnight. You got to work at it. You got to become good at it. Just like you become good at any of those bad habits, you could become good. You could become good at BS too, and bad habits too. And a lot of us have. A lot of us have. So much so that you don't believe that you could ever get out of that hole, but you can. You can. You can, because you have the ability to. You can because you have the ability to. You're alive. You have the use, the activities of all of your limbs, so you can turn it around. But it first starts in you. The first step is you. The first step is realization. The first step is realization. Change of mindset. Change of how you go about your everyday. Changing what you allow into your immediate frequency range. Whatever's around you. Change of that. Watching what you let in. Watching what you give out. Watching the people that you're around. Let me give you this here, and I'll kind of wrap this up. Ask yourself right now, ask yourself this question. And I want you to be completely honest with yourself. In your immediate circle, how many people sharpened you this week? They say iron sharpens iron, right? How many people in your immediate circle sharpened you this week? Sharpened you today? Sharpened you this month? If you got a bunch of dull knives in your knife box and ain't nobody sharpening you, and all you do is sharpen, 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 you need to find yourself another circle. You need to find yourself another circle, because you should have a couple of people in your circle that's gonna say, "Hey man, I'm slipping. Pull me up. Pull me back up." And without a doubt, that person, you should have that person. I know who I'm finna call to pull me up. Pull me up out of this thing, man. Because I gotta get to the point where I realize that everything that happens to me lies within me, and I have to step out on this journey. I gotta step out on this journey. And I realize now that it's not going to be overnight. This is going to be a commitment from me, a commitment to the process. Think about anything successful. Did it happen overnight? Did it happen overnight? It did not. So I want you to take heed to these words, guys. Before I go, man, I want to give a special shout out to my brother, man, Antoine Pope. He has been influential to keeping this page up. He's done so many things, and I'm much appreciative of. And, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon when you made it already. Everybody want to do that. But, you know what I mean? That crew, that circle that I've just talked about, man, when you got that couple of people, man, that's going to ride the journey with you and do everything while you got nothing, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's solid. That's stuff you never forget. So I want to give a special shout out to him for promoting the channel, for, you know what I mean, just taking the ride at ground zero. Because if you've ever watched any of my videos before, I done told you, this is going to be the biggest YouTube channel out. You can mark it down. You can mark it. Because I'm committed to doing so, and I'm going to force the universe to align up with what it is that I want, because this is coming from the heart. This ain't nothing, this ain't no money grab. This is connection, as I stated before. This is about connection. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I know that you found value, and all that I ask in return is that you pay it forward. You wake up tomorrow, or you go to bed tonight with a new mindset, And if you're blessed enough to see tomorrow, you continue that mindset and you start to change your ways. You start to change your bad behaviors and make them good behaviors. And you commit to the process of no overnight successes here. We want to work hard for everything that we get. You'll sit on a job and work 40 years and perfect nothing. This is all about perfection of self. Commit to the process. Always be great, think great, know that you're great, know who you are, and go out and make a moment. So again, thanks, man. Until we meet again, peace.